Hey guys, this is Miss Arlequin, and in this video, we are going to be learning some new vocabulary words. So our teaching point is how can we identify the meaning of unknown words using context clues. And our learning target is we want to be able to apply our knowledge of context clues to both the reading and writing. So we're going to use context clues to figure out the meaning of an unknown word, and then we're going to write a sentence that contains context clues for each of our new words. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is take your vocabulary sheet and without cheating, don't look at the definition, just in the first column where you have the word and the numbers for the ratings, just rate your knowledge of each of our 4 vocabulary words. Our first word is overt, second word is covert, third is interminable, and the fourth is longevity. And just a quick reminder, 1, you've never seen or heard the word before, 4, you are an expert on the word. All right, so we're going to start with the word overt. Is this an overt attempt to get a better grade, or do you think I'm not eating healthily enough? So from this sentence, I can see that the student is trying to kind of bribe the teacher with an apple, and that's a really obvious kind of thing. So I'm going to say that overt means obvious, which is exactly what it means. When you're being overt, it means that something is open to view. It's not a secret. It is obvious. And overt is an adjective, which means you would use it to describe a person, place, or thing. You're going to use it to describe nouns. So here in this sentence, it's the attempt, the kid's attempt that's being described as overt or obvious. Jenny made it so overt that she had a crush on Matt because she was always blushing and flipped her hair when he was around. So she's doing a lot of overt things. She's making something overt. She's being overt. Okay, next is covert. From now on, we need to meet in a more covert location. All right, so if I look at the picture, I can see that these 2 guys, they look like they're Secret Service or spies because I can see they've got the little headphones in their ear. They've got the glasses. They're dressed in dark suits. So they kind of look like the Secret Service. And Secret Service has to protect the president and other politicians. So they can't really be obvious about what they're doing. And yet here they're trying to have a meeting in the middle of a fountain, which to me is the opposite of what I think of when I think of Secret Service or spies. So they want to have a more hidden location. Something that's covert is not shown openly. It's a secret. It is hidden. The spies had to be covert as they followed the suspect through the empty parking lot. They had to be secretive. That's another great synonym for covert. Is trying to be secretive. And like the word overt is an adjective. All right, next we have interminable. All you need to do is sit still, look at me, and smile for an interminable length of time. All right, so this is a class photo, and I remember that whenever I would take my class photos, they always seat you in the most uncomfortable position, and it always seems like it's taking forever. And so I can tell just from this context that interminable must mean something that seems forever, as if there's no end in sight. It is never ending. Now, usually people use interminable in a negative kind of connotation. You wouldn't say, oh, the birthday party was interminable. I was having so much fun. Interminable has a negative connotation. So you would use it to describe things that you find to be just terrible. Like a boring class could seem interminable. Or like the next sentence, waiting in line at the DMV is such an interminable experience because the line moves so slowly. It's not something that you enjoy. It's something that makes time seem like it's slowing down to an inch. All right, so now interminable, from my experience, is a difficult word for people to sometimes use for the first time. We have to use this word to describe an event or an amount of time. It does not describe people. So you can't say the interminable teacher or I am interminable. You're not how would that even make sense? You're never ending? Maybe figurative language, you could maybe kind of stretch it, but no. For the literal definition, do not use this word to describe people. It would not be appropriate. All right, and our final word is longevity. In order to have longevity, you have to make sure you eat a balanced diet and exercise regularly. And also from the picture, when we built it, we were going more for look than longevity. So they wanted it to look a certain way. They weren't trying to have it have longevity. And here, to have longevity, you have to make sure you eat a balanced diet. Plus, I see the smaller word long in here, which I think has something to do with what this word means, because longevity does mean a long life. Now, longevity, unlike the other words from this week, is a noun, which means that we're not going to use it to describe people, and we're not going to use it as a verb. It is a noun. So you talk about somebody's long life, you talk about their longevity. You don't say, I longevity something. That would be a verb. That's not okay. And you don't say, I am longevity. Or you don't say, Amanda's longevity. No, actually, you could say Amanda's longevity. You could talk about my long life, but you can't say I am longevity. That, when you say I am something, that's using it as an adjective. So I would usually try to use this word in one of the following ways. The blank has longevity because, or the longevity of the blank meant that. And here I have a couple of further examples using those sentence frames to get you started. The vampire has longevity because it's able to live forever by drinking people's blood. Awesome. The longevity of the vampire meant that he wouldn't die for centuries. Awesome. He has a long life. The healthiest people have longevity. Again, you have longevity because they eat healthy and exercise daily. Or to have longevity, a person needs to live a healthy lifestyle. All right, so now it's time to take the new words and put them into practice. You're going to write sentences for each of the words. Make sure that you are using adjectives as adjectives and nouns as nouns. Make sure your sentences have enough context clues. And as a little extra challenge, see if you can add some of our previous vocabulary words into your sentence. Just don't make it a vocabulary soup, and don't forget to use the current vocabulary word.